I'll call this meeting to order. 6 o'clock, 6:02. Start with, this is the Tuesday, March 15, 2016 Sac City Planning and Zoning Commission. Start with attendance. Frank Strain here, Jan Sessford is gone, Mickey Quayle is here, Curtis Blaze here, Jim Gary is here, and Susan McCullum is not here. Also present is Stacy, the Planning and Zoning Officer. And then, could you also pass those packets down? Did everyone get a packet? Did you get one? Oh, we're passing, aren't we?
Oh, passing out.
I need one more of those. Or are those different? They're different.
No, these? No, they're the same.
These are mine.
Every one of them's different because I ran out of ink.
Oh.
Printed. So,
I got one.
Yeah.
That's for Jim.
that was awesome.
And then we're good.
Okay, that's-
I've got one. Mine is right here.
Okay,
You
I
got
don't
one,
have
sir?
the,
Oh.
well, I've got the packet, but I didn't get the one that had, or is there two of those? That are
There was
the
two of
same?
those. One of those for Frank.
Are those the same? Those two right there? Each of those two? Are those the same?
Yes.
Looks like
Okay,
this.
Sorry.
I shouldn't have passed them both on, I guess.
Alrighty. Conflict of interest check. Does anybody have any interest in anything we're going to be discussing tonight? They own any of the properties that are on the list, etc., etc. Seeing nobody with that, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Also move.
Moved by Frank,
Seconded.
seconded by Mickey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Agenda is approved. Have you had a chance to review the December 2015 minutes that are in your packet? If everybody's had a chance to review those, I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes. Need it first.
Oh, okay.
First by Jim.
All right.
Motion by Jim Gary.
And I need a second.
Yeah.
Second.
Second by Mickey Quayle.
I would have, but I wrote them, so I thought I better not do that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it passes. 4, 5, what am I saying? 6, election of officers. We'll open the floor for nominations. I've got in the packet structured the way that we should probably word it for it to go into the minutes. You can nominate a person for office, president or secretary. Someone seconds that nomination, and we go until there's 2 people that have accepted both of the nominations for position. And then we make a final motion to ratify those nominations. And you can nominate yourself. Does anyone want to be... Well, let's start with secretary. Frank, are you willing to continue to be the secretary?
I'd like to have somebody else do it, but I can do it if nobody else will.
Does anyone else want to be the secretary?
No.
I'll nominate Frank Strain to be the secretary of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'll second it.
Frank, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then does anybody want to be president? I'll do it if you guys don't want to.
I just figured you were. Yeah, I kind of did too.
I nominate Curtis Blaze.
Second.
Okay, I'll accept the nomination. I'll entertain a motion to ratify the nominations as stated.
I'll make the motion.
Got a first from Frank Strain, second. Second from Jim Gary. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, good to go. Moving on to 7, approval. Did I do that twice? All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Well, we didn't do it the last time, so twice this time, I guess. Moving on to 8, financial report. It's right in the packet, right on the minutes. You can just review that. That's where we are right now, $5,332, with a breakdown all the way to the beginning of the start of last fiscal year, July 1, 2015. As you can see, we've got almost enough to demo another house if we want, depending on where we are with service and how fast we can get it moving.
But it would have to be a house that isn't full of asbestos.
It has to be, right.
So the ones on here prior not.
Those are long-term,
Those
those are going to be long-term
Those are
things.
just going to be a pain on us for a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, the ones on 6th Street are going to be in the $20,000 range just to clean out. And then maybe more for asbestos. And then the one on Main Street's gonna be, quite a bit to clean out for asbestos. So, and we got you guys don't know this, or maybe you do if you've been paying attention, the city council gave us a budget this year with $14,000 in it. Despite my best efforts to get it up to 20,000 last week.
Didn't we normally have 10?
I think we had $15,000 for 3 years
15?
running.
Yeah, we had 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did they decide to go down?
they went down with everybody.
Probably because,
Yeah, I was gonna say they cut a
How
lot
much
of
was
that
it?
grade.
Raises.
What they based it on with us
I would say
was,
probably because we haven't really used it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a use it or lose it thing.
well, yeah, that was kind
Now
of
they
the
see us
thought.
actually gonna do something, they're like, oh, shit.
Well, yeah,
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
I had a meeting with the finance committee, and I told them that we're capable of bringing down every house that we serve. And so what they did was they asked me how much it costs. I said, 6,500, 7,000 to be safe. So they gave me enough for 2, and just made it clear that we could come to them anytime we want to ask for more if we need it. So that's the rationale behind the 14,000, 2 houses. But they seem to be in our corner on this. People seem to like the crappy stuff coming down.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been a lot of talk.
Yeah.
Well, is there gonna be any talk later, or you wanna talk now of what we think we should take down next?
Well, let's limit our conversation to the financial report right now. If there's anything else I'll entertain a motion to accept it. Wait, do we even need that? We don't.
Probably not.
If you've reviewed it and you don't have any questions, we'll just move on. To 9, public forum communications. Has anybody communicated with you about anything that is within our scope of duties? I've gotten a number of complaints about a house on 15th and Hobbs.
Same here. Including my own.
It's on the
Oh.
southwest corner of 15th and Hobbs, north 15th and Hobbs.
Oh, yeah.
It's that 2-story white one that's.
Sort of fallen in.
got the-
Yeah.
I've actually got it up on the map right now if you guys want to look.
14th and Hobbs, isn't it?
15th.
So it's
14th and
across-
Hobbs is probably the one, I know, but 15th and Hobbs is probably the one
across from
she's,
McKeever's, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
A block down from McKean.
Oh, the one I'm talking about is
Right.
15.
Should be across.
Or 14.
That's
Right across.
14.
I
right
thought it was
across.
on the corner,
Yeah.
on
Well,
this
they-
corner.
There's a crappy one on the
On
corner,
this corner, like,
too.
yeah, there's one.
Oh,
on the-
yeah.
The corner there, and didn't it used to be Wirches's?
I don't know, what was the deal with
Across
that?
from it, there's them storage buildings there.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
That's the one I thought.
This is the house that,
They always
Has
have
been
Boy
getting all-
Scout.
let me see. Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
Boy
it was-
Scout house,
Yeah.
the old Boy
Yeah.
Scout house. This is McKeever's, okay.
Yeah.
So this is the house that we're talking about, that I've been getting all the complaints on.
So the one you're getting complaints on is the Boy Scout one?
If that's what this one is.
One where
The boats are?
the boats used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we could talk
Yeah.
to Dylan Bruns if you'd go and clean that up, because I think that was his. is it his
Well, the
dad's
roof
or
is
grand-
caving in on the backside.
Okay.
His dad used to be the Boy Scout,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scoutmaster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Oh, the
always,
other one.
we pretty much dealt with that one by always
So-
getting a hold of him and saying, hey, you need to go over there and clean.
So I wasn't able to locate your other one. Where was it at? Is that the one
We
at
we found it,
14th?
remember? You had that blue
Oh,
house.
oh,
that-
sure,
that
okay.
it is.
But I'm not terribly interested in that, because I think we need to get the ones that, there's, I think there's squeakier wheels.
Okay.
Right.
And
Well,
one of them
everybody-
might- One of them might.
Everybody in the neighborhood, in the immediate area, is like, get rid of that house.
The one at
The Boy
15th and
Scout
Hobbs.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the same neighborhood is this guy right here, 14th
We
and
got a lot of
Hobbs.
crappy ones in that neighborhood. That one on the corner?
Yep, that's the one.
The doors are always open, the
The
other
guy next door was
open.
gonna buy it,
Yeah.
and-
Turned into a
Okay.
garage.
Yeah.
but the one next to Animal Health's got the doors open all the time too. It's
Yeah.
right on Main Street.
Yeah.
And that one I get just as many complaints. from
Were you able to
everybody.
serve that one?
I did serve that one. The guy, I just found him.
Awesome.
He was, this guy like just goes off the radar. But he got back together with this girl. I got him for OWI here a few years ago, well, maybe a year ago. He just like disappeared again.
Okay.
And I just happened to pull her aside and talk to her the other day. I ran into her and I'm like, hey, where is that guy? He said you could maybe find him for me. She's like, well, we're back together. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad. Good. Well, then since then I went out and I said, he needs to get a hold of me right away.
I'm so happy for you.
He's hard to get a hold of. He's like a ghost. Because he don't have a license. He don't have nothing. I mean, the guy, people like that, you just can't find them. They don't register, with a license or anything, then you don't you can't find him.
Sure.
I mean, he was supposed to go to court, like, I think, what was it, wasn't that like 8 months ago, he was supposed to go to court, and I was all excited.
Maybe
'Cause I was gonna go find him there and go, ha, here you go, and he
Maybe
didn't show
he
up for
was at
court.
work.
Huh?
Maybe he was at work.
Yeah, I don't think he was. I don't know what he does.
Why is this girl with him?
You know, and she's a nice girl too. which is
Love is
crazy.
love, man.
Yeah, right on.
Love's blind, deaf and dumb.
Yeah.
But the reason I think, and then I went out and I spoke with the Animal Health Center, because at one time they wanted it.
Okay.
They don't want it. Hey, we'd love to see it come down. So I guess at one time the people before Farber Oneman wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was
For the
with them,
parking lot.
they don't want it. I think that if we were to take that one down, and we make that one that we take down, we may be able to sell some of that back to somebody and recoup money.
Well, for the record, we don't take over the property. We just do an enforcement on it and then charge the cost of it
Right there's
against
why you're the president.
against the
That's it,
taxes.
right.
But then the person who buys it pays us back then.
But we could recoup money. That's why you're
Well,
the president.
I
Just-
think it'd be
just
more
see
likely
exactly
that
why.
I think it'd be more likely they'd come to the council and get that forgiven
Okay.
if they were, in order to buy it. That would be my guess how they do it.
Okay.
So,
That's why you're the president, because you know that. But anyway,
That should be priority.
I think it's
right?
priority because the door's always open. It's junk like that. It may not be caving in, but everybody sees that when they have. For some reason, I got this thing like with 4th of July. I think our 4th of July is pretty awesome with our parade and all that. And I just
If I mean,
nothing pisses me off worse than to have a piece of crap right on Main Street.
yeah. I think-
well,
That
okay,
needs
let's
to just be gone. It's an eyesore.
let's note that. Let's work through your report, and we'll get to that later when we're trying to choose a house to go after and figure that out. Unsafe building update, 207 William Street. I can report that it's demolished. The 811 West Main Street, 316 South 6th Street. We're waiting on and 500 and 502 William Street. We're waiting to get asbestos abatement estimates for that, which we haven't started yet. 225 South 9th Street. Where are we at with service on that?
Yep.
Got two of them?
One.
One?
Renita.
Okay. 510 South 10th.
Yeah, that's been served as well.
Once or twice?
Once. These are all once.
Once.
They're coming up on 2 here.
512 South 11th is once.
Yep.
1208 West Main, which is the one we're talking about right now.
That was 1206. is
It might be
the-
1206. That's
It's
why I
1206.
got the question mark.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
1206, that's been served. And then the Schneering House came down then.
Yep. So we're not talking about that one anymore. Okay, so that's good there. Building permits update. Our last update was for the month of November. Does this include everything from November, December, January,
no,
February?
No, it didn't.
What's this one for? Just February and March?
Yeah. If you want, I can get into that room there and I can give you all the rest if you want to go through all of them.
Well,
There was nothing out of the ordinary. Shit being built, things going up.
What is, yeah, you can't. What is the timeline?
tell you what.
On the building permit, because I am gonna be building a addition on
There
the
is,
house.
just get a hold of me.
Okay.
I got like 3 jobs, but yeah, just, when we get it, it's usually a couple days, I get this funny thing where I call people and they don't answer their phone. So, it's just a matter of meeting up with people, so, it ain't gonna be a problem.
I would say let's just go ahead and put the January or the December and January ones on the next meeting to review, along with March. So December, January, and March building permits for April.
On the March, April one.
Yep, does that work for you?
It'll work.
When you're doing these, these are first notices. When you're giving these permits, can we review quickly how you do that? There are a number of things that you could permit for. Like you could make them get a permit for the building, make them get a permit for the sidewalk, for the driveway, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, what we do is we make them get a permit for just what? Just the total cost, or how's that work?
No, it's for all that. What happens if, say you want to put up a house,
Okay.
like what we're going to have down here with Huser's putting up that house down here, 706 Oak.
Okay.
Yeah, he just got to get one permit for everything. So like if he's going to have a driveway, he wants to put on a driveway and a mailbox and all that. And if he was gonna have a garage, they only have to pay the permit on the most expensive thing on the list.
Okay.
And then that encompasses everything. So long as they have 6 months, they have 180 days to start, and then 180 days to complete it. If they're not done that 180 days, they have to come and reapply and get another one.
Okay.
But everything else can go, if someone says, hey, I wanna put on a garage and a fence and, whatever, the cost of the most expensive thing, say the garage, the 50, they can cover the rest of that with it.
Okay.
But it does have to be listed in there. And I generally will tell them, look, if you're gonna be, later on, you're gonna be doing this, get a hold of me so you can get it in here. Cause we want, I guess kind of my philosophy is we want people to put up stuff, nice stuff, and, so I kind of approach this as my goal is to help people get these and make the town look better versus trying to fight with them over it.
Okay.
So,
Was there a training that you went through where you were sort of taught that?
yeah, Adam did.
Adam taught you that? Okay. Do you guys have any more questions for the building permits portion of the meeting? If not, we'll go to 11, ongoing business. A, planning and zoning officer compensation update. I've included in your packet just a copy paste of the minutes of the relevant meeting from the city council. They gave the planning and zoning officer a raise to $475 a month effective February 1st through July 1st or whatever, and then on July 1st it goes up to $500, which is what Stacy asked for originally last April. Does anyone have any questions about how that went, or Stacy, you happy with that?
No, I didn't get it yet.
You didn't get it yet?
They forgot to put it on.
Nice.
They're gonna compensate me this next time. I'm like going, I thought I was supposed to get a raise. I guess I didn't.
So was there any trouble? I mean, did anybody kind of act like they were off work?
Yeah, they were, but they just forgot. Dee Dee, they got a bunch of new software down here,
Oh.
and she apologized. I'm like, I didn't realize I didn't read through it that carefully anyway. I think it was supposed to be February, like after February, or just
Starting February 1st.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I tried to get them to do it retroactive to, I think I started in April of 2015. That didn't work out. Then July 1st, or January 1st of 2016, and they compromised to $25 less starting on February 1st. And then made it up to $500 starting with next year's budget. So they're just going to include his raise in the next amendment in May to this year's budget. If there's no more questions about A, we'll move on to B, consideration of modifying zoning code to allow rebuilding on lots on which standard setbacks would prohibit building new buildings. Adam is going to a conference next week, at which he's going to be able to learn some pretty detailed stuff about doing just this. So we're going ahead and suspending that until he comes back and can report. This is something Adam and I have been working on. Are there any questions about that? Oh, but we can hash out how we want, we can hash out how we want the law to work. Do like a bullet point style of everything we want it to do, if we want to do it. And you can pass that tonight. And then I can take that to the council and we can create a law based on that without you guys having to do any more voting on it. It'll just happen at the council level. And anything they want to amend, they'll amend. And it would just be up to us at that point to show up at the city council meeting to say, no, that isn't in the spirit or isn't the wording of what we wanted to happen. So, do you guys want to bash out how this would work tonight? I guess first of all, we'll just do a check quick. Is everyone in the room still interested in having this law? Because we never really addressed that. This is just kind of an idea that we've been kicking around.
Can you refresh me?
Yeah.
What'll happen is, I'll just use the example of North 7th and Main Street, the house that burned down across from the Early Mansion. There's a house there that burned down, and because of our setback laws, they aren't able to rebuild there. Their setbacks would make it too tiny. What this law would do, it would allow people with lots like that to rebuild new houses whether through new construction or because it burned or for whatever reason, on the same footprint of the house that already existed there.
I saw you checking your watch.
6:25?
6:30, yeah, we're right on time.
I had another meeting. I'm a busy lady, for God's
That's a good
sake.
idea.
Does anybody have any objections to following through with this? Okay, well, with that then, we can pass this tonight and then let the lawyers bash out how it would actually be worded. Because that's essentially what happened last time anyway. We recommended wording and then they completely changed it.
Yeah.
So I think rather than wasting our time with working out the wording, we could come up with bullet points of how it should work, recommend it, and then let them bash it out. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So then the question is, do we want to, right now, kind of come up with our bullet points of how this law should work? Has anyone given it enough thought to foresee any problems with it?
Are they going off other towns of the same size, or is that what they're doing, or?
No, this is a law that I conceived of.
Rebuild houses.
Let me say that more accurately. That I'm copying from Lakeview,
Okay.
who's doing sort of the same thing. It's how they manage their little tiny cabins and their setbacks down in that town. And it seemed like it would be useful for us on
Yeah.
lots like that.
That seemed like that was a big house.
Yeah, but the setbacks, it's like 2 feet from the.
But there's something in the code somewhere where we can already say if you're building something, if you look down the line with houses, they can move their setback up. If the houses that are already there, you can be up to there. Are we talking about front setbacks or
Well,
I wonder if
we're
that's
talking
already
about
covered
all
by that.
setbacks
all?
because it's not gonna. Because some places just aren't gonna meet.
I'm sure there'll be somewhere it'll come up, but yeah.
I mean, anything could be handled through the Board of Adjustment.
I think Stacy's right. Isn't there like a 10-foot from your property line? Because I think that was pretty close to the property.
Yeah, that thing was right up by the
Well, yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
it was
like
right.
on the
Yeah, it was
sidewalk.
really
Right.
close.
But I don't think any of the rest of them houses were compared to that. That one was way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
think
I
we
mean,
should
that
just
would be a
totalitarian.
potential problem that
We
we'd
should
see
just
then.
have final word and just be like, we'll review it case by case. No, you can't have it. No, we don't like the Lucky Go. I'm just,
Unless you donate to the city.
yes.
Yeah. $1 million.
You can have whatever you want, there's a price, but
Well, then that's something to address. In that specific case, we would be encoding the ability for them to go ahead and put a house back on the footprint, which wouldn't conform to the setbacks with everybody else.
yeah,
It'd be blocking their view down the street,
yeah.
which could potentially could be argued that they wouldn't be able to back out safely if they had a driveway there.
It seems to me that house setbacks on a house are way closer than everybody else's.
It's probably built, before there was such a thing.
I remember.
Probably the law was don't build it in the street.
Which house is this that we're talking
The
about?
one on the corner of 7th and Main. That one had a nice red stones that sat down by our Freedom Rock for 3 years. Those.
Okay.
Where did this ever go?
I don't know.
Just
When
like
the city
disappeared
took it
one
over,
day.
Were they
they
fighting
disappeared,
over
didn't they?
people fighting over them?
I
When
no.
Opsals turned it over to the city.
Didn't they go away before that?
Oh, did they? I don't know. I thought they would.
Wait,
I just don't know how they.
let's just check.
So-
Does anybody know if they're already incorporated into it?
It's very
Is
strange.
it ringing any dirt or anything down there?
It
Is
might
it?
be around the edge of that grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
I just have to go look.
By there.
Well, unsolved mystery.
So that would be one of the unforeseen results of passing a law like this, where houses would be uneven as we go forward if historical houses have been closer to Main Street. And obviously we're using as example the house on Main Street that would do this.
But you're not gonna back it out onto Main Street with that one, right?
No, I don't.
There's no driveways until you get up to
Yeah,
Abby's house.
Probably won't get. I think Rydell's own that now. Dana
Or
owns
not
it.
Abby's,
I don't,
but-
I don't see them
Glasses.
parting with that lot
Glasses.
at any time.
No, before Glasses, the old Alcorn.
Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
buffer zone between them and their neighbors, and if anything, they'll put up Great Wall of Rydell there, separate. I think the city should buy it and put a wall there, then we can't see that first house. It should have been torn down with the meth labs.
Right.
Yeah, that's bad.
Your neighbors should definitely have input. It should be almost like a variance meeting where you gotta, or something where you have to go speak with your neighbors before you know, just because it might be fair that you put it back on that footprint doesn't mean that I haven't now lived here for, maybe a time limit or something, like, you know, I've lived here for 15 years and all of a sudden you wanna throw a house back, 5 feet from the sidewalk. I don't know, it just seems like there should be some kind of,
That'd be a good bullet point.
What kind of time limit do you guys think would be appropriate? Like you, probably there's a lot of. Thank God that house is gone.
5 years.
5.
5 would be a good number.
Maybe if I was gonna have that lot, I'd go lap off the neighbors $10 for their house and take both and conjoin them, and then you'll have it. You don't have to worry about it.
Somebody's not doing it, though,
I think so, because I don't think they
So,
can. 'cause
The
it's
people that
not-
own the house, do they still own the lot then? Right there?
right down
The
some,
people-
don't they?
Yeah, right, I think Rydell's bought that lot.
Oh, they bought the lot?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't see them parting with that lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just catching up on typing. Another bullet point is getting permission from the neighbors. Is that something we want to include?
Well, like, yeah.
It was
like
suggested. Is that
something we-
What called it? What'd you say, a variance meeting or something?
Yeah, yeah, because you have to have,
All
I
the
think
joining.
you have to have a letter from your neighbors before you get a variance meeting, or there's something in there, and they'll, to okay that, hey, this was all right with us if he
Yeah.
or she does that.
Cheats up to the boundary.
Yeah, cheating boundaries and things
Well, I
like
think
that.
like when Belcock put up that big garage on Gishweller, all of the neighbors got notice that they were going to have a meeting with the variance commission
Board
or
of
whatever it
Variance.
was. So they had an opportunity to attend if they had any feelings, yes or no, about the meeting. And maybe that's what you need to do, is just notify the property owners within a certain area
It's a good idea.
that they can, of the meeting, and then they can show up at the meeting and object or
I've got the
speak in
word
favor.
adjoining. Do we want to say something like 100 feet from the property? So to include 2 properties over? I mean, is that what we?
Or neighboring.
adjoining properties, maybe. Yeah.
I've got adjoining.
Because 100 feet could include the neighbors across the street.
Right. Right. It could.
I wouldn't put adjoining.
You wouldn't
No.
put adjoining.
I'd put neighboring properties or, like you
Yeah,
said,
leave it
100 feet.
vague.
Be vague or be.
Vagueness is good. It really is.
Yeah.
Better not to be too
In some
specific
things.
sometimes.
Yeah, well,
Depends on what you're talking about.
yeah.
Neighboring properties. Permission from the neighboring properties. We want to.
That way, whoever, if we use something like that, then we can come in as a board and say, we can define what neighboring means. It's gonna be completely up to
Yeah.
us,
Sure.
what that means.
So there's another
Which
bullet
can
point.
change, like say, all of a sudden, Frank's like, I'm not gonna be secretary anymore, and even though he tries to get out of it every year or whatever, we gotta get different people in here, and then that can kind of evolve, and people can be like, well, I think neighboring means, at that time, if that's the way it is.
It's up to the board at the time.
Yeah,
to
it's up to
decide.
time. It's good that that can
Yep.
kind of be fluid.
Yeah, that works for me. Does anyone
Absolutely.
object to using the word neighboring?
It's fine.
Okay.
How were you contacted, Frank, when they did that? Would they come up to your
Well,
house?
I really wasn't contacted because I was far enough away, but
Okay.
Zimmerman's were, because
Okay.
they're right north of me.
Yep, yep.
And I think I saw in the paper where they were gonna have a meeting, because they had to publish a notice that they were gonna have a meeting. the
So it was
committee
just
to
in the
consider.
paper?
And so I just saw it in the paper, so I just went, I wasn't objecting, I just went to see what they had to say, what they were gonna do.
Because you'd almost think that, like, Justin would have had to have contact your neighbors and
Yeah.
talk to them and have you sign
Well,
off
I
on
think-
something or?
But I think he probably got the permit from it, and then what he wanted to do was outside the boundaries of whatever the codes were, and so they had to have a meeting for this board to approve any variances to the existing codes, because that was Jim Mason and Larry
Board of Adjustment.
Payton and Board of Adjustment, I don't know what it was. It was 3 or 4 guys.
So it seems like there's some question about whether we even need to do this. Perhaps someone could do this just by going to the Board of Adjustment.
Well, yeah, I suppose they could.
But the Board of Adjustment is supposed to cheat towards what the law says.
Yeah, and see, they
So us
probably-
making a law about it would give them guidance.
Yeah, especially if they're replacing a building that had been there previously, which is what we're intending to do.
So
This was a case of brand new construction. There wasn't anything there before.
so we'll include wording that gives the Board of Adjustment
Anything there would've been done.
input.
We can do absolutely whatever. to-
Well, I think maybe we should have in there that the Board of Adjustment needs to approve it. That'll cause the notice, I think, to go to the neighboring properties, and anybody objects, has an opportunity then to object.
Oh,
Because we could do that ourselves. We could notice and have a hearing, and we're a legal body able to do that. But it gives them something to do.
so this
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they have to meet too often on that, but
No.
never know.
I don't want to go back to 2 subjects ago, but like the house there on the corner, the big 2-story house across from Justin.
Oh, yeah.
What's the story with that house? Do you know?
The 2-story.
On Gishwiller and,
Oh, the one that was there, you mean?
no, it's still there, the big 2-story house that Bill Allen used to live in.
Oh, the one on the corner, yeah, where the old Freeze house. Yeah, I don't know, that's,
Is that abandoned? I mean, obviously it's
Well-
abandoned.
I think,
Gishwiller
Allen,
and 10th?
No, 11th.
Oh,
yeah, it's the one
Oh,
right south of Leonard
Clayton
Boyson.
Mills.
Right on that corner.
Mills
Right.
Yeah.
family used to live there.
Yeah, it's
Bill
the
Allen.
Freeze family used to live
Yeah.
there, and I think Billy Allen.
Brent
Bill
doesn't
Allen
own
was-
that and rent it out to people?
No,
Bill Allen owns, or he's responsible for it
Okay.
now, I think, or looks after it.
but I
Yeah.
mean, it just seems to be deteriorating.
Well, it is,
you know,
yeah.
And
I mean, he has somebody come up and move the snow from the sidewalk in the winter.
Yeah, no
and
kidding.
not, I guess I didn't want to go back.
Yeah.
Cheaper than tearing them down. You might get more done for that.
But it's just sitting there, it's not, nobody's living in it.
So, time limit of 5 years, permission from neighboring properties. We'll trip a hearing with the Board of Adjustment.
Pretend we didn't know who did it.
Is there anything else that we want included in this? Besides what we've talked about. The wording will include in the same footprint of the former property. Not former. Do we even want to say it that way? How do we want to say in the same footprint? Same
I like that.
footprint?
There's no,
Another one of those vague things.
I don't even think that's vague. I mean, it's
You know, it's pretty-
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's right where it was.
So,
Do you want to require them to come to the planning and zoning and ask for permission so that we know what they want to do before it goes to the Board of Review?
Well, is that something that our planning and zoning officer could handle in the permitting process?
That would be, yeah.
Up to him, probably.
It just depends if you guys want to hear about it first.
Yeah, have them contact the planning and zoning officer
We can even have a special meeting
if there's any question
if
about
it's a rush thing and we need to get something going. This stuff takes so much time.
Well, there's going to be lots of noticing. It's going to be not more than, I don't even remember now, less than 20 and more than, no, I'm doing that wrong. More than 20 and less than 30? Something like that for noticing. So it's minimum 20 days before they can even have their hearing. But that's less than 5 years, so.
so this is all
Oh,
about.
contact the planning and zoning with the intention to rebuild so we can review the permit for individual approval. Does that sound like something we want to do with this? I'll say it all at one time. Contact the planning and zoning with their intention to rebuild so we can review the permit and approve it individually rather than just letting Stacy do it and us just reviewing that it happened. So they still, so that's kind of, I mean, that's something we'll be able to stay on top of because we know the town. But if it were someone that we're moving in new and we hired him to be the planning and zoning officer and they didn't know the town, someone's house burned down a year prior to them asking for a permit.
How old are you?
45?
I'm 43. You don't have to worry about this. You'll be retired before me. You're wasting your own time. man.
But should it say, if it's accurate to the new guidelines, as far as, like you said, the 10-foot rule or whatever it is off the property line, I mean,
Well, that's what we're saying. If it's within the footprint,
You don't have to do this.
That means it'd be
but,
up
but
where
right,
it was
but the old
before.
footprint probably isn't. Or is that what you're saying? So you can allow them to go right back on it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even if
it'd
they're,
allow it to go
even if
right
they're
back on.
a foot off of the property line.
yeah, we're not really talking about a variance from the law. We're talking about creating a law that would just encode a permanent variance for this type of activity. So we're being really cautious with all the hearings and everything. But the law would just be, Stacy would review the law and go, in the footprint of the old one, less than 5 years, and boom. I mean, it could work that way if we wanted it to. Right now, we're building lots of safeguards into it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Ultimately, it would be up to the council to debate whether they even want it and what the parameters would be. But our recommendation would, of course, carry a lot of weight. And we can continue to work on this. There's nothing that says we have to act on this tonight. But it's good that we're having the discussion.
I think it's good we're having a discussion. We almost might want to see what Adam comes back with.
Yeah, see what he finds out.
From the,
That way we don't sprout off in the wrong direction somewhere and get confused.
Okay. Well, there is that.
Well, we've got some general guidelines
Well, we
that
got
we can work with.
Well, we got our teeth in it a little bit. So
Okay. Is everyone happy with the start that we've made there?
I feel good about it.
I feel good about anything that gets us done. If so, we'll move on to 11C, approval of share the cost building demolition program. I just haven't typed out the rules. But as an element of this, we would be establishing a list, a formal list of properties. If you'll recall, one of the bullet points was that a property would have to be on the list to qualify for the share the cost program. Does anybody need a share the cost review? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. The how this program works is we create a list of properties that we're targeting. We probably don't want to use that word. And if someone wanted to buy that property privately, they wanted to make a private deal with the current property owner to buy it. If we were going to target it and bring it down anyway, we would still do that. But instead of doing it and paying the $7,000 and then they have to pay the $7,000 on the taxes, they would pay half and we would pay half. We get the building torn down for half price. But there would have to be there'd have to be a contract in place to saying what everybody's responsibility is before we enter into it. I did not bring the full bullet point with me.
I kind of have a little bit of it in here.
Do you? And Frank might have some of it in the notes.
Yeah, maybe in the past minutes, maybe.
Let's see. Stuff for P&Z. I might have it too.
So they would do it on their own basically, and we would give them, put that money that we would have paid for the whole thing.
Yeah, in the minutes that we just approved, there's a paragraph about it there. 50% with it, and they have to have 3 bids.
That's right.
Take the low bid. It's on the second page of the minutes. About 2/3 of the way down.
And that does cover all the bullet points that we were talking about. 50%, 3 bids, et cetera, like Frank said. So this is just a matter of fashioning out the wording and taking it to the lawyer and making sure he's happy with it, and then I'll bring it back for approval. Does anyone have any more questions about that program and where we're at with that? Move on to 11D, overdue press releases. I just have not done these things. We've got the Paint Iowa Beautiful, we've got the beautification program, and we've got something else, the thank you ad. As it's getting towards time for the next one, I was kind of thinking what we could do is just have a big thing that includes these things and our other accomplishments for the year, which include,
Would you still put pictures in?
yeah, which include things like, I don't know if you guys remember from last year, but we created the revolving loan fund for helping people do their thing. I don't know, were you on the board yet when that happened? Oh, that was in November 14th, excuse me. The grant application for Sunwise, we can include stuff about Sunwise in there. Being successful with pursuing the dangerous buildings, we could talk about that place. We could talk about what we're up to. Just have sort of a big brag article that includes the Paint Iowa Beautiful and the beautification project, and then also it would set us up for doing it again this year if we wanted to. Is that? I didn't put it on the agenda for us to do the beautification contest this year, so if I write that we're going to,
Did Ben Wise ever get his prize?
that's a good question. You guys approved it to be paid.
I said something to
I
him one
didn't
time.
follow
He's
up
like,
with-
"What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Well, you don't know." And he said, "No."
He was giving my money.
I'm like,
You know, I don't know. I'll ask Annette if they sent him the check.
I'm just thinking it would have been cool if we got a picture of someone here with him.
I've got a
presenting the
picture of
check.
him with a fake check already.
The big fake check?
I got a big fake check.
You did?
Ben
It
and
wasn't
me.
ever in the paper, was it?
No, it
No,
wasn't
that's,
in the
this
paper.
is.
Curtis!
That's what we're talking about.
What we're
Curtis!
talking about right now.
The money came
Gonna
through
do
the
a
foundation,
giant
though, didn't it? It didn't come
ad.
through the city.
It did, but because of the way that the, let me say this differently, and jump in if you remember how this went. The auditor didn't like the way that we did it, so now it had to come from the foundation through us.
To the city?
To the city.
program called?
To the city.
Oh.
No,
I didn't know all
beautification.
that.
Which one? There's 2.
Because I know originally the
And then they
donations
had to
were made to
approve
the
it.
foundation.
Right. Right. Well, and then the city had to approve it, and they forgot to put it on 2 different
Oh my gosh.
bill approvals. So it
So
got
this
approved in February or January. Well, it got approved in January. So it got approved in January for payment after February 1. Approved for payment after February 1. So then that's where we are. We don't know if it got sent out yet.
You asked this Annette to send it?
I'll call Annette tomorrow.
Because
You
wasn't
just
part
sent
of the
her a
prize
text.
though,
Okay.
wasn't one thing a coupon or a gift certificate?
Yeah.
We bought that.
Oh, we did buy that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't remember.
So that's that. Do you guys have any instructions for, like, and the ad? Do you still want to run the ad, guys? You instructed me to do it. Still do, okay.
I do.
I think it needs to be in there.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
businesses that donated need to be recognized somehow too.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
That's
you're gonna have
what the
people
ad
quit
is.
Donating, yeah.
Yeah.
Still run the thank you ad for the busy.
I sent them all thank you cards, but yeah, they need to be recognized in the paper, because I think I told them that. they
Did you send
recognized
Parkview
them.
one?
Did you send the thank you cards?
Everybody but them, because I didn't know about them till later.
So I'm like, I usually get that stuff, but I didn't get it. It's no big deal. I don't care.
I'll send one.
Don't.
I'm
No.
Well,
sorry.
it seems like it is.
It's not. I just asked because sometimes Leslie gets mail, sometimes I get the
So I
mail.
did them all at once, and then I said, I think there's another one, I don't remember which one it was, and then you told me at the last meeting, and
Yeah, no
I
biggie.
don't think I got it.
Don't do it now. No.
You sure? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Just so we get recognized.
Will you donate again? Okay.
$100.
Maybe not that much, but MGM will pick up our extra 100 if we don't donate.
Awesome. If you guys don't have any further direction or any discussion about that item, we'll move on to E. Does anyone have any more discussion? Okay, we'll move on to 11E, creation of unsafe building list. This is a list we need to formally create and maintain for the share of the cost program, but it might not be a bad idea to just formally maintain a list anyway. Something we kind of do, we've been carrying it over from agenda to agenda. But this would make it just a separate thing where people could come down to the city and just look at the list and see. If we're interested in doing that, we could start tonight. We've certainly got properties that need to go on the list. We start with Stacy. What do you already have served?
Well, all these 8 that are listed on here are all considered unsafe buildings, aren't they?
Yes.
Where?
Unsafe buildings or,
So we'll start with these 8.
What is, where?
Well, Williams is demolished.
Well, yeah, Williams is off there, so.
Williams. Which one was that?
That's the one we knocked down.
Oh,
Which one?
Doherty
The one in
House.
the front? No,
Right.
where are we at?
Doherty.
On the
Doherty
second
House.
page of your
Goes on
packet.
Williams, right? Yeah.
There's,
Oh, here, okay.
That's the name. Well, if you quit being so damn nice to people.
And then there's obviously the long-term stuff that we can't do anything about until we have
Okay.
$30,000 to remove the asbestos and junk.
So, okay, which ones are they? 811 West Main, where's that one at?
That is the one that is the big apartment that's adjacent to
Funeral.
Bobby's
Funeral
in the
home.
funeral home, yeah.
Okay, 316 South 6th would be the apartment building.
500 502 Williams is Sunwise.
Sunwise.
Okay,
255 South Street is what you guys call Renita Batts. Boss?
Okay.
Bass?
It'd be nice to get rid of that one,
Bots.
because she says she still lives there.
She don't live there.
There's
I
nobody
know,
living
we know
there.
she
My
does.
cat
She's
lives
down
there
in Lakeview
sometimes.
or something. My
Yeah,
cat.
Lake
I'd make
City.
sure he has a
Lake
shop.
City.
City.
I sent her thing to her
But he
parents.
comes from Philly, I
She didn't
smoke.
have
It's
her
awesome.
license.
She always
It's like,
says that she lives there. So she always renews, and we know she doesn't, we can't really, I don't know, never mind.
he murders all the birds there, so there's
510
that.
South 10th.
510 South 10th is that one house that had all the
Cat
cats.
house.
Oh, okay, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't there used to be, oh, what's his name?
Mm-hmm.
He lives up at Brook Ridge. Oh, man.
Don.
I'm
Don,
thinking, yes.
Don somebody.
I
He was
drove
just
him all the way
in
to
not too
Ames.
long ago.
Don.
Oh,
I can
That his
picture him.
wife?
Ring and Bird.
No, no,
He's at Garfield.
He's got the mustache, he drives around the green, big, what does he drive? He drives big, another Suburban.
oh my God, what is his last name?
Yes, Don.
Let's start with Nem. Does it start with Nem?
Did he used to be on planning and zoning?
No.
Probably not.
It's not that done.
He's an
Coach.
incredibly smart guy, actually.
They figured
Seriously?
it.
He's
Yeah.
very, very intelligent.
Because I think didn't Kessie Glass actually remodel that whole house originally?
Oh, it looks beautiful from
It
the
looks
outside.
nice from the outside. Yeah, it's a nice
Yellow
looking
house.
house.
Isn't it a lawyer owns it, or
I don't
you
even
had
know.
a call about it?
Yeah.
That begins H. Don.
Yeah, it starts with an H, his
H.
last name.
Don.
Well, so
Tina, his wife's name's Tina. Don and Tina.
Harris.
Harris.
There you go. Don
Bang,
Harris.
right there.
Yep. Very good.
Thank you, that was gonna kill me. Oh,
Okay, so South 11th.
continuing the South 11th next to Laura, and
Oh,
1206
yeah.
West Main, which is the one next to Animal Health.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'd probably put the one next to Laura second on our list for two reasons. One would be she'll kill us if we don't. Because she's actually taken time out to come here.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
3 reasons. I can't go to get coffee at the brew without talking about it. 3, this guy is a known
Yeah, he's a pro.
female beater and felon, so if
Who
we,
owns it again?
Shannon Dusenberry.
Yes.
So if we get rid of
I know
it,
it's
then
a
you don't have any
Dusenberry.
place to go. Other than his parents' house, and that's probably not far off from being torn down itself.
And that's
Okay.
the one on the corner, isn't it, on the other
His
block?
dad's nice, I mean, they're nice people, but he's,
Mhm.
and he's, well, his thing is with that Sarah Martin, so we definitely don't need him back here.
So
You need a 4th reason to not tear that one down.
Oh, no, I'm all for that one.
what we're gonna need to do.
He's with Sarah?
He was.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
He's great.
Shut up.
Doesn't matter, it is what it is.
No, he's not, she is. Poor Jimmy. You know you can't pick your family.
Well,
You can pick your friends. He's lucky to have me, but he can't
Right.
pick his family.
I'll probably have a lot of family in this tore down house.
So the deal is, if this program starts on July 1st, let's say, if we try to aim to have it start on the fiscal year and run that way, since we work on a fiscal year, we're going to need to have our list of houses locked in for that year. We can't add houses to the list without it appearing that we're adding a house, just so that somebody can share the costs with us. So we can add houses however we want, but we got to lock in a list for a year at a time by July 1. And in order to be locked into the list, it has to be investigated by Stacy and determined to be unsafe according to the law.
So every single one of these 8 you've determined to be unsafe.
yeah. Unsafe or inadequate maintenance.
Yeah.
So my question is, what's different about the steps to get rid of these than normal?
Nothing. Except for West Main, South 6, and 502 because they're commercial entities.
Yeah,
so we've
commercial
got to
property,
do a lot
yeah.
of
Right.
cleaning to get
But
them
otherwise,
out.
the process is first notice, second notice.
Yeah,
What's
nothing
If we
more,
sort of-
even though they are
if we got all the
unsafe.
if we got all of the if we got all the asbestos removed from, well, Sunwise is a bad example because we got EPA open on that. We got all the asbestos removed from any of these properties. We can. It's just at that point we just go in the same as anything else. But these 2 properties that we're talking about, 811 and 316, are particularly problematic because 6th Street is such a mess that there's $20,000 worth of cleanup to do before they can tear the floor up to get at the asbestos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gross in there. It's, days and days of people just hauling crap out and throwing it away. So there's that added expense of, like, construction and destruction.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Right,
the
you're
asbestos
funny.
guy, he didn't give me an official estimate, but as he was kind of spitballing what it might cost, he said, there could be some cost savings if we have the city employees go in and put a couple of boxes out there and just have them start throwing crap out, so that all they have to do when they come in at their much higher per hour price is just tear up the floors and remove the asbestos. So I mean, there's a couple of different ways we could attack that. That wouldn't cost $20,000 in cash, and still be all the time for the city employees.
So how's that go again? Like when you have to give three notices, right?
Notices.
Oh, just 2? Oh. And
Notice 30
Or
days.
restriction.
Notice 30 days. Tear it down.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? 30
Written.
days.
2 written notices within.
So within 2 months, these guys will have 2 written notices.
Actually, within about another.
Actually,
Say you.
they should have
about
their-
a week and a half. Them 2 weeks they'll have another.
And is
You're
there,
talking about West Main, 1206.
Yeah.
Is there everything
Awesome.
verbal or just written?
Hmm?
There's no verbal, is there?
No.
Notice?
No, it's written.
Oh,
So it's all written.
And they're certified.
mail. They're certified.
Certified,
letters.
okay.
Well, that's
So how come we
great.
don't have some of those other properties on this list that we were talking about earlier, like on Hobbs Street?
We just haven't gotten them on the
Got them
list.
on.
We've been carrying over what
We
we've been
started
carrying
out
over.
with a couple of weeks. I mean, because we can only pay for what 2.
So
If you'll recall, in late 2015, we prioritized stuff
yeah,
on
that's right.
Main Street, and that was highly visible.
Yeah, we
and
did.
those things dropped off the list at that point.
That's right.
But we can put them on right now. I mean, that's what this discussion is. Creating a list. So,
So are we able to afford, we put these on a list, are we able to afford to take them down?
no, the point of them being on the list is so that we have carryover, so that we recognize that they're unsafe
And we
or
don't want to
inadequate.
serve them though, they're just on a list. Because we're gonna get in this dangerous thing of
Serving and not doing
serving
anything about it.
what we've been doing. And
Right.
people are just like,
I would say, I don't know how you guys would do this, but I think what we should do is make a determination that they're unsafe or inadequate. And then they just sit on the list. And then when we're ready, when we have the money, then we've already got that determination of inadequacy and we can serve them at that point. Rather than serving
So
them.
we basically would have enough to do these houses over here on the ones that have been served first.
But I think this list is so that people, maybe the next door neighbor might think, well, if I can get it done for half, I might do it.
Right.
Give them
Right.
the incentive, that's
Right.
what it's for, right?
Right.
Right.
But do we have enough money to take down behind Striegels? Is that the deal?
We do right now. Yeah. Well,
Do
we
we
don't.
have
We
the-
don't specifically. We're $600 short. I'm kind of hoping there's an entity in town that
Let me
might
go get my change
Yeah.
out of my van.
see fit to give us $600 more to carry it out.
What happens if you have like a list of, say you have 8 houses on the list, and all of a sudden you've got 3 people that want to do something with a property next to them? Do we have money to pay half the cost on 3 properties?
Well, we've got enough money for 2
That's
properties,
what you guys
so that would
have.
translate to 4 properties if 3 people wanted to pay
they
half.
did say they'd give us more if we needed to.
Yeah. Okay.
So with this program, if it was 100% utilized, we'd
I mean, I don't see
We'd be
that
doing
happening.
pretty good.
Probably if you had one on the list that somebody wanted to do something with, you'd be lucky, but.
right. Well, I don't know. There's
Never know.
there might be. It might goad someone into wanting to own the whole block, which is kind of a thing.
It beats having a shitty house beside you. It might be worth it.
Starting to make real hard.
Did you guys get out there and do something about my guy?
So at this point, the conversation is just adding to the list. You guys have you guys brought anything that you'd like added to the list that you'd like Stacy to investigate? We're obviously
He's getting
talking
his ass
about
chewed right now.
what's that?
He's getting his ass chewed right now.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. We'll talk later. We better pay attention or Kurt's gonna yell at
All
us.
right.
I don't yell at anybody.
No,
I take revenge
Here it is.
silently. What is this one? The house on 14th and Hobbs. Do you happen to have the address, Mickey?
No. Is there a phone number around here?
And I can't make it out.
Oh, no.
So we'll just write it down like that and let Stacy report back the street number.
Okay.
So this is where Stacy comes into it. Stacy,
Yes, sir.
we are sending you to the corner of 14th and Hobbs
That's the budget,
That one, yeah.
right?
to investigate.
I can already tell you it's done.
Okay. Well,
I can investigate it from right here.
Bring-
It needs to be.
bring us
torn
back
down.
bring us back an
Doors
address.
open all the time. The doors and the windows, there's no way that it can't be not.
isn't that
The white
Richard?
one right next to that Richard dude from California that
Yeah.
likes to talk about how tough he was back in the day.
Okay.
And he used to have a hole through his living room floor. All the way down.
All right.
Corner of North 15th and Hobbs.
Walk in. if
It's
you-
Ricky's. Where
Yeah,
used
Ricky's.
Oh, north.
The lesbians that
Yeah.
live there.
Okay.
What's her name?
to live. Yep.
North 14th and Hobbs. Okay.
Work here?
No, it's not Burkett's.
Oh.
It's not Mel.
I
It's
could
the
tell you a
block
story
north,
about that,
isn't
but
it?
You'd die laughing. But it's not appropriate.
Isn't it a block north of Mel Burkett's house now?
I'm not sure.
It's on the corner. It's
Yeah.
on the corner by the gravel if you go around that gravel.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
Stacy, what I'm saying here is we just need you to
I think there's
say out loud in the minutes that you've determined that these houses are,
we did. I looked at that one in the past and nothing's been done to it.
well, just so
It's been
that
served in the past years, like I think 2 or 3 years ago I served that house.
I understand that. What we're going to
You
do
want me
is
to go back out though?
well, or however you want to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to assign you to these things. Then next month you bring back and just on the record say I've determined that they're, and then that'll go in the minutes, and then it'll just be justified for being on the list.
Alright.
So we've got the 14th and Hobbs Place, and we've got the 15th and Hobbs Place. North 14th
That's
and...
that Boy Scout house?
Yeah.
It's been served too.
And then also, if you could, bring us back the addresses.
So you're gonna add those two to the other 7 that we have on the list.
Is it 8?
Well, it's 8, but the first one's off.
Oh, that's right, that's
So
right.
7 plus these 2.
Right.
His name was in Brun's house.
And we're bumping 512 South 11th up to number 1 now.
You know, I don't know if we should have them numbered.
12 South 11?
But that indicates a priority. I think if they're on the list, then we could pick and choose as time goes on.
Well,
We wouldn't have to take them in a particular
Well,
order.
Maybe that's
No,
not what you
no,
meant by
that's-
this. Maybe that's just what you
second
were
on the
listing.
list.
that was
Animal healthcare
Stacy
first.
saying what he thinks should come down first.
Well, but I mean, we could decide that among ourselves, which ones are priority, but I don't think we should have them numbered. I think they should be on the list.
That priority list's gonna go into high gear.
Well, that's
Fire
true, that's
department's
true.
gonna be kind of
But we
busy.
do, but the next thing on the unsafe building, new building, consideration, unsafe building enforcement. On 12B coming up, we're gonna choose a house here to spend our money on before we lose it.
Well, that's fine.
That's
Okay.
where we're going.
But I'm just saying.
So really all we're
I'm
looking,
just saying, that any numbering on there shouldn't indicate the priority.
that's fine.
It should just be a number on the list, but it's not necessarily priority.
I agree.
We send out like, we do scare tactics, so send people like a little target card, so you've been targeted. Then we can send like number cards, it could be like 5, you're 5. You're 5. Just say you're 5, that's it.
Your fiscal year
Report to the
2018,
Sac City
2019.
building, municipal building to see where you're at, we got a little bold little chart up on the wall where you're at.
Or
We can make it be
before.
movable, like if you clean that shit, we,
On the bank clock,
Yeah, the bank clock.
your number.
Teresa, you got any houses in town you want to see?
I did the other day and now I don't remember where it was, Chris.
2 down from you, right?
Yeah, that we can start with. It's gonna take care of itself anyway one of these days. Kaboom.
That's what Laura said about that one house on lot 15th and Hobbs.
The goal here would be to have
Where was
as,
it at?
You know.
as comprehensive a list as possible.
It seems like there's another house around there too, in that same area, because I remember Laura saying
Oak
earlier
Street?
about it. No,
When I
on
was doing Meals
Hobbs.
on Wheels, I saw
so
one and I
that's the
don't
north side
remember.
of town.
Huh?
You pretty much lay it all.
Julie Hummel's house hasn't
What
come
about the
down.
one right north of, or right to the
Where's
west
that
of?
one at?
It's that one that they use for smoke training, because it was going
Is
to
he
come down
on
and
that
then
now?
it didn't.
The one right?
Are you thinking of him?
No, right next.
Right next to Julie's house. It was her dad's house.
Oh, we had that one taken down, we didn't even talk about that, the one Julie.
Did that come down?
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
South Third.
13th Street, that one came down.
That one came down.
Donovan Detman and Sharkey bought that, or not Sharkey,
Yeah.
Cindy
Yeah.
bought that.
Who was living? Somebody was living in it.
Was Julie Bell. They
Julie
didn't ever
Bell.
want any more druggies living next to him,
Oh.
so, see?
Was her kid or something?
I'm not.
neighborhood
I'm 2 houses away. I'm not buying a
No,
house.
but they
so
stepped
she
up
lives in her
and-
mom's
See what some
house.
people
Yeah.
do?
I know. Jim flipped me alone.
Stop complaining.
She probably just moved over into her mother's house.
She doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, probably across the street.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I heard the bank
As
guy
soon as
bought
you
that
will.
for her. Tom Lang bought that.
And let her live there?
Yeah,
Which one?
what the?
My mom lives across the street. She said there's cars and people
Which
coming
one?
and going.
Great
all the
story.
time.
Driving by the other day, Johnny works just out there
Julie's
busting up
mom's
ice.
house.
Yeah, on the corner.
He gets,
Yeah.
he's on disability. I come around, so I'm like,
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Why would he buy it for her?
I come around the block, and then Ross Leonard's out there breaking it.
I saw them
Well,
both
that's
doing it
another
too.
one.
He quickly, when he saw me go by, I like grabbed for my phone.
Oh, yeah.
Video, you breaking that out? You don't look so disabled.
Who owns that one house?
South Third, Chris, by the bridge out.
South Third.
Oh, yeah.
Right to the west.
Whole
right to
Leonard
west of
Street
Peter
there, that
McCullough,
whole,
Yeah.
Cat house.
except for
Yeah.
the,
Oh, that big tall house on the hill there?
What, yeah.
So
that's-
South
He
Third.
bought, he bought that.
He
didn't
bought that, but
Lonnie
that's,
Weisenborn.
What's that sign say that's in the yard? It says.
Oh, you're talking about the one
posted
down
and
I'm
it
talking
has-
about here on,
Yeah.
on
Well,
Leonard.
by
That's there,
Weisenborn's
east end
house,
of
we
Yeah.
know
West.
about it, yeah.
About 3 houses
What's that
below there.
sign?
buy drugs here.
We'd all be gone.
I don't know, I tried to read it. It says posted and then it
Yeah.
had writing
Sad.
underneath it.
Yeah.
Southwest corner
I
of
see
South
this.
Third and Leonard.
Yes,
Got that?
yes.
Southwest corner of South.
Am I doing that right? South.
Right by the bridge
West.
outside.
Yeah, it's right by the
Oh, on the
bridge.
corner, yeah, that's
Yeah.
been, so, I can already tell you all these.
Which bridge?
Then
That's
Talked-
300
we've talked
Leonard,
about
I
it
think.
before.
is it 300?
Pretty
Okay,
sure it's
just
300 Leonard.
go ahead in your report next week. Just bring us back the official addresses. And then there's 1, 2 up from that. Did they cover up their whole?
Yeah, they did. They came last.
So they
summer, did.
complied with what we asked them
Yeah,
to do.
they did. They were up that weekend.
Okay.
Not that it helped. I mean,
It's a big piece of plywood now. Okay.
That's the flats, man. We expect that.
Teresa, you got any
No, that was the only ones I could think of. There was another one, but I can't think of it now. So if I think of it, I'll let you know.
Stacy, you got any houses that have caught your eye?
What about that one when you turn at the Villager? Is that North 16th?
Villager.
Okay, and then there's,
Oh, yeah,
there's
sure.
a white one by the alley. and
North
then
16th
there's the next
and
one.
Early.
And it's got,
There's
I mean,
two
it's got
houses.
beams that hold it
Yeah.
up. It looks like the beams are about ready to
Yeah,
fall
there's
off.
two houses that are alike. One of
Yeah.
them's been fixed up, and the other one.
Yeah, somebody
hasn't.
bought the one and is working on it, I
Stacy
think.
Daisy's buying the one right next to Villager.
Yeah,
The
so
one we
one
did
right
the raid
at-
on, the one right next to it.
Yeah.
That is Earl Stone's.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay, I just want to check my head. Are you talking about the one that is?
No, that's
On
what
No,
I'm
that's
the-
what she's talking
Oh,
about.
really?
Are you talking about the one that is on
Houses
the
beside each other.
Yeah.
West side of the street.
south
One of them just fallen
west
apart.
West side.
corner?
Yeah.
Okay, if you go right out
Of
of the Villager
16th
out of
and
the
Hobbs?
alley, right into the alley, that's the one that Mexican guy had that we raided. Stacy
Yeah,
Daisy's
it's
bought
the
that.
one right
That's
to the
getting
north of
gutted.
there.
He's gonna get a garage and everything put there. Then the one right north of it, Earl Stone owns.
Okay, southwest corner of Hobbs and 16th.
Yes.
I guess so.
Early.
Early, you're right.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
early,
early
that's
street.
early.
Yeah.
You want
I
that
mean, there's
one?
nothing to
Yes,
it.
please.
It's just a little, and it looks like it's made out of cardboard almost. It's really awful. Like, why is it even there?
He'll be here.
Huh?
He'll be here.
Both of those are Earls.
That one on the corner is Earl's. He'll be here. I'm pretty sure he's come to these before. If anybody certainly just raises holy.
Well, the one has basically tar paper on the roof, or like they're getting ready to
Yeah.
re-roof it.
How long's that been there?
2 years.
So 16th and early Stonehouse. You want who owns all these as well? Addresses and owners?
Do we need to know who owns them, or do
Yeah.
you? I mean, you can give us the information so we have it.
I'll just have it.
Okay, that's fine.
This is a list we were gonna post. We don't want the owners on the
Yeah.
list we're posting, do we?
Yeah, we're
We
gonna.
do?
Shame them.
Okay.
No, not to shame them, just because we're a public entity
Oh.
and
okay.
we're directing our legal officer to investigate
Okay.
a violation of a
Hunger
law.
Games, man. We're not just randomly drawing.
Right.
Jim Gary, your house would be, well, the house
Wait a
would be
minute.
piece of shit. but
Wait a minute. This is getting crazy here. It's gonna be torn out. Number 5.
Okay,
We want an honorable mention, somebody just a scumbag that may have a nice house, but we hate it anyway.
are there any? Do you have any other houses that you're bringing today? Okay. I was bringing in the Boy Scout one myself, just
Seems
because
like there is another
I've received
one.
so many complaints about it.
Around there, though, that Laura Zimmerman said something, or Laura Keever said something about, but I can't think which one it would be.
Well, if you think of it, just tell us.
Got anything
Okay.
to send them?
We can only direct him at a meeting so that it's on the record.
Okay.
So just bring it to the
Is
next
that
meeting.
true?
Well, we want to
Like, I'm
keep
gonna say
ourselves safe. Is what true?
Is that true?
I might
You guys
be.
really can't come up to me like out on the street and go, hey, what about this one? Can you serve that one?
Well, for the purpose of putting these things onto a list,
Because you could say it, and then, I could pick them out. I'm allowed to pick them myself and just say, hey, I want that on the list.
yeah, you're allowed to go investigate stuff yourself.
So, it's not like I'm gonna say, well, Curtis, this one time, come up to me and said,
I was mad at this guy, so.
we weren't in a meeting, so I said, you Curtis. But I think it should be there, so I'll put it there.
If we do it at a meeting, since we're not authorized, since we're not officers, since we don't enforce the law, only you do, then it protects us
Okay.
from that exact accusation of just targeting someone because we don't like them. Then it's on the record, and we got it.
That's why he's the president.
We got 4.
Frank, do you have any houses that you want to bring,
Well,
Jim?
No.
We talked about Leonard Street, that
Okay.
whole block. On,
I think there's one on 16th Street, North 16th, that we could probably tear down.
It
That looks like a shithole
It looks
right
like
now.
it's getting torn out.
It's the
Yeah.
house.
I think I heard the word tornado.
Yeah. You better hope we don't get one of those this year, all the work you're putting into it.
Be neighbors with Matt Wessels out there.
Yeah, we already discussed that. I already told him that.
Was that a burn ban, or were you just?
Are you neighbors with everybody?
Yeah, the
Like,
burn ban. No, I
is your
talked-
house from 13th
No,
Street
he
to...
is going to be neighbors with
Oh,
Matt now.
okay.
I'm not.
Putting himself.
We're trying to get close to all the.
I have a house full. He only has one to deal with.
Lot of traffic out there.
Oh, no shit. All hours of the day and night.
Well, it looks then like we are done with unsafe building enforcement. Oh, consider appointment new planning. Creation of unsafe building list. Nobody has anything else? If not, we'll move on to 12A, consideration of recommending the appointment of a new planning and zoning commissioner. I don't know if you guys remember that you were assigned to bring in names last December. Does anybody have any ideas? We have a equal gender balance on the board right now, so it can be male or female.
I thought you guys had some names, didn't you?
I'm bringing in a controversial one.
Oh, that one.
I'm bringing
Oh,
in-
that one.
I'm bringing in John Minman.
So we need a guy or a
How
girl?
come he's controversial?
His name has been brought up in the past and passed over.
What do we want to do with him?
John?
Yeah,
He's been a lot of city council meetings.
I know. He comes to a lot of them.
We
So
want-
he'll take Arnie's place.
Matt
He would
Buckenberg
take-
wants to do it.
Matt,
Matt
Oh,
does.
he'd be good at it.
Very, he wants to do it very bad.
He'd
He
be
wants
really
on
good.
the board?
Yes.
Just put him on.
Well, that's what we can legally do that tonight. We've got the consideration of making the recommendation.
the other person that we considered before, I don't know if he's still interested or not, was Tom Mason. He was one of the names that was on the list anyway, when we
Okay.
appointed Jim and Jan.
Well, if we make a recommendation and then they turn it down, it's no skin off our nose.
You know. Well, if we know Matt wants to do it, why?
Yeah,
Well,
he
That
wants to
kind
do
of,
it.
that kind of answers the question.
We've got two people that really want to do it right now. Does anybody have any other recommendations? John and Matt both really want to do it. John has applied before, and because he not really a beef. I forget what his deal is.
I can tell you right now.
What's his deal?
You don't really want
He's-
somebody on the board that's got to beef with stuff, though.
Well, the thing is, though, as you know, as you probably witness, once people get onto these kinds of boards, their beefs disappear because they understand how it works. Then,
We should have Earl
and then
Stone.
and then they're just active.
That's not going to help
Funny you're
improve
here.
his houses any.
Half of this shit's yours.
Yeah,
There you go.
I mean,
Like,
Fix it.
I can kind of see your point, I guess.
I see your point, but
Yeah.
he is
What's Sean's
kind
deal?
of a that's just a pet peeve of mine. Is people just complain they have no solution. He's more of a somebody just comes and bitches. Don't come to the table and even complain if you ain't got a solution. You just don't have a solution. You just complain. Chronic complaining. That's my only thing. Matt seems to be a more level-headed, down-to-earth kind of person. That's just common sense to me. But I would be very
How
afraid
many
to have.
do you guys have to have on your board?
We're even right now.
It's a
7.
7-member board.
And just because John
So-
Midman's like 70,
3 girls, 3 boys right now.
Whose are the two girls?
And he-
Susan.
and he-
grumpy old
And he
man.
hates
Susan.
Tom Wise.
Jan and
Susan
Susan.
and Jan.
Does he?
Oh, Jan
Oh,
says
oh,
she-
Yeah.
Gone for the winter.
I've only had to deal
Like
with him a few
the-
times
me,
at
yeah.
council.
I'm like,
That's
I
why
know
he
I
was
heard
on.
girls.
Because of Don Weisenborn.
Oh, God. Well, he's got an agenda, then that's not good.
And then these two, and then so you need really technically one more.
When do Susan and I think we go off at the same time. When do we go off?
I don't know.
Says-
I don't have a record of that.
You
That
trying
would
to
be.
get off?
Adam's got that list.
Maybe I can get off and let someone who really allow room for others. That'd be the right thing to do, wouldn't it?
No.
You
No.
gotta find your own replacement, that's a deal.
Oh. I'll call Matt.
It's gotta be a female after coming a
Oh,
week.
shoot.
He's got long hair.
Well, not so long anymore, but yeah, kind of.
If we appoint Matt tonight, then it would have to be a female.
Oh.
So we've got,
So could you appoint both of them?
no, we
No,
got
you can only
7.
have one.
I'll
In
make
the-
a motion that we recommend Matt Muggenberg for an appointment to the planning and zoning.
We have a motion to appoint, or to recommend to the city council appointment of Matt Muggenberg to the Sac City Planning and Zoning Commission. You have a second? Second, Jim. First, Frank.
Okay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, make that recommendation. I'll try and get that on the next agenda. I can. I guess I should have asked this question before. Lives in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you buy that house over by Menzer?
Yep. Jim Mule's old house.
I thought you did. I wonder that. I went by there the other day.
Did they sell it?
Moving on,
He wants to. On my Aunt Jane looks like, which is worse.
consideration of unsafe building appointment. This is the part where we officially say what building we'd like to go after next. We're
One
we're
or two
talking
more.
about what's that?
One or two more.
We don't have enough money for that.
Only one more? Not one more.
We don't have enough money to do one whole one. We'd have to get $600 or whatever from the council.
Here's a thought.
Sorry.
Is the one with Shannon Dewsbury going to be easier? Because
I don't
he's
know.
out of state.
You're the one that said that you're a couple of days from serving 1206, and it would be another Main Street, which we prioritized.
Yeah.
Well, then that- yeah.
Who owns the one on Main Street?
Justin Yeager. And he's around right now. I mean, I can go to his house right now. I know where he's at. They
Is it
disappeared.
time for second service on that one? How long till second
A
service?
couple weeks.
A couple weeks. Do you think you're still going to be able to get him in a couple weeks? Well, it's on Main Street like we prioritized. We're going to second service so we can start scheduling it with, well, they have
So
to.
even though summer's just starting, we only have enough money to do one more house?
New money starts in
The
July.
year is
Yeah.
ending.
July
We
1st to
haven't
be
started
the
on
That's
new
right,
year.
that's right.
So we can go after, so we can still make Laura happy. We can get it
Mm-hmm.
started.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, you could do.
I would do the one on Main
He's on
Street
here,
first.
so as of July 1st,
And
we
then
can
do
tell
the other
Laura, July 1st, we should be ready to go to tear it down.
Yes, we could.
Right.
And why not?
So let's get after 1206 Main. Does anyone disagree with that thought? I'll need a motion to, let's see, entertain a motion to direct Stacy to follow through with second notice requirement. Start there.
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
First by Jim. Motion by Jim.
I'll second it.
Second by Frank. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then I need a motion directing somebody, probably me, to go to the city council and ask for the amount of money more that we will need to pull this off. Entertain a motion?
Why don't we just ask him for the money for the one with Laura's too? They said come ask him.
Because you'll be up to serve that one second notice too shortly.
Why not just ask them both?
I would.
We'll take two down. Laura's been at the meetings and this one's on Main and we think they're both high priority.
Then then I'll entertain a motion to follow through with second noticing, to have Stacy follow through with second noticing requirements on, what's the address?
512
512
South
South
11th.
512 South 11th Street.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mickey,
Second.
second by Jim. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
Now motion, Curtis, to go big for money.
Entertain a motion to direct the president to approach the city council and to seek funding for these actions.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Frank,
I'll second.
second by Mickey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed. All right.
Worst they could do.
Do we have anything to talk about?
That's right.
Anything else to talk about there, guys?
I think for all the years we did.
If not, consideration of participation in Paint Iowa Beautiful program. In your packet is a grant that I wrote, grant application for the Paint Iowa Beautiful, similar to what we did last year. I already made the application in her name. Now let me just explain this quick. We can not participate if you don't want to. We can withdraw our application and not have it happen. The deadline was in February, so I had to get the application in. If you want to participate, I would say we just need a motion indicating that we do want to participate, and then we'll just follow, and then we'll just continue on from there. We'll either get the grant or we won't. Feel free to
I make
read.
a motion that we,
Oh, I was going to say, feel free to review the grant application. I'm sure this is the first you guys have seen of it.
Not much different than previous
sure it's
years, is
awesome.
it?
Not really. A little bit pared down. I'm not Bruce. Not that that's bad, but he's very good at writing grant
Yeah,
applications.
a lot of
I think
detail.
we
Right?
should keep doing it.
What?
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm so angry, I'm into this tear down mode, I don't wanna paint shit.
Yeah.
Got a motion.
I need to sit over there next time.
Got a motion from Mickey for the Planning and Zoning Commission to participate in the 2016 Paint Iowa Beautiful program.
Second.
Second by Jim. All in favor say aye.
I,
Motion passed. What's next? Do you guys have any more questions about the Paint Iowa Beautiful program? Go ahead. If you've got any, just give me a call. Board forum. This is an opportunity for us to discuss anything that wasn't on the agenda pertaining to planning and zoning.
Get it?
Not my
good
neighbor's
thing you
house.
emphasize that, huh?
Well, at times it's gotten out of control. At times in the past.
There's some,
If there's nothing, we'll move on to, God, what is that, 14? Discussion of future agenda items and meeting dates. Right now on the future agenda, we have review of houses that Stacy's going to investigate.
are we into the part
Review-
where we can entertain different ideas too now, is that what it was, or did I
Yeah.
miss it?
No, go ahead. If
What
you
about,
want.
you know, we talked about putting up a softball field. Where are we at, or do we have anything to do with?
I privately went after putting up a softball field,
Okay,
not as a planning and
Like
zoning
slow pitch
anything.
softball field.
Right. The only place that's big enough is the
Sunrise
fairgrounds.
property?
fairground, but there's also,
Sunrise
right north of,
Stadium.
Just thought I'd
right
throw that out
north
there.
of,
Kids World.
Kids World is our property. Adam said we could use that, but we'd have to put roads in. But the question I've had just a ton of people come to me and say, well, what about this money from John Chris's city beautification thing? Would that fall under that?
Do we still have that though, or is it tied
It's
up
on
in?
hold right now, but it's not gonna.
The trial is set for 2017, but I'm sure that'll get delayed again.
Yeah. That'll be tied
Civil.
up for
What are you gonna
15
do?
years. But that's, I look at it that way, and look at that, it's like there's really nothing here
It'll probably be the next
for
mayor.
people to
that
get out
spends
into
it.
the community. And it's really kicking off, unfortunately, it's really, Brett Meyer's done a great job over in Lytton, getting things going over there, and he's even using the school fields and.
What about the old school softball field up there by the Reserve Center?
It would have to be modified pretty heavily. There's a minimum of 280 feet for the wall, and even high school baseball doesn't go out to 280 feet.
Oh, wow.
And even if it did, it's not a softball field. Softball field, and I didn't know this till I started researching it. I know it's stupid, but I never
That's where
played.
the girls used to play.
Softball, I'll get there.
Okay.
I'm talking about a baseball field is almost big enough, but the infield isn't all dirt. It's grass with paths.
Oh.
And so softballs don't work on it. It has to be able to roll across the dirt. The softball field for girls is like hideously little. It's like
It's a small infield there.
it's a smaller sized infield, and it's smaller to the fence. Something like 240 feet to the fence.
It's 200. Yeah, you can have, in Cherokee, we had 275.
275, 280 is where the
Generally
American
where you wanna be.
Softball Association requires it. So there is such a thing as a movable fence. There's a fence that could be moved in, that could be constructed to move in and out as needed. And the infield could be made bigger to accommodate adult size, and then, it could just be re-chalked for the smaller size. I'm not sure how the turf works.
They don't even use that anymore, though.
The old softball field.
No, softball's they play Little League on that field now sometimes. They play all the girls' softball
In
games down in
Wall Lake.
Okay.
Are you talking about the field by the track? out
By the Army
the
Reserve
elementary?
Center.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right across from Army Reserve Center
Okay.
by Wanna-Coppins.
We don't practice there, but it's small.
The
I just see what they're
But
doing
it's
over in
school
Lytton. and it's
property, I mean-
huge. They got
I-
10 teams this year.
I approached
But Litton's
And
a school
freaking-
property too.
Huh? Yeah.
Litton's a school
Yeah,
property
and they
too.
drink on that too. But now they're saying that they're not going to let them this year because idiots doing stuff. So,
Went there some fights last year or something.
no, there's no fight. It was just people not picking up their junk. And I said, I'll donate a garbage can to each frickin' thing or whatever. Or I guess we're just going to have to stay after and pick up, which, we never had those issues in Cherokee at all.
Okay,
We're also-
so I'll bottom line where we're at with that right now, just real quick. It's not really a planning and zoning issue. I approached I did a presentation to the Fair Board in January. They said no, they're not interested in it. They're not interested in the hassle of having it. So it would fit there. You apparently went to Adam, and north of whatever would work, north of Kids World would work. I also approached the school, and they did tell us that we can use the, like the practice baseball field thing. That area where they have football and soccer and all that stuff.
East of the
That'd be
elementary.
nice.
But you would have to move the backstop clear up to the sidewalk in order to have the fence be far enough away. And you'd have to construct a new, field
With lights and everything.
with everything.
Just-
And so that would be a partnership with the school at that point.
We just don't have any other really big areas, do we?
My concern is there's nothing in
And
the
there's enough
community.
area down by the lift station in the park if we remove 26 trees.
By the
But
lift
that's
station.
underwater half the time.
Is it
Oh, down here.
down here
Chautauqua.
in the back of the park? There's like that lift
Maybe
station.
some old farmer would sell some of his land,
No.
of his farmland.
Thought that'd be nice
You
there
kinda
across
want
from
it.
Subway. There's a lot of ground there. I don't know if that's Hufford's or.
Oh, yeah, I wonder who owns that.
That'd be nice right when you come
One of
into
those
town.
trailers they got
Right.
rid of too.
Right
out
when you
there.
come into town, I always thought,
The old
God, that'd be
trailer
an
park.
awesome
Yeah.
spot
Yeah.
for,
Where the motel used to be.
we could
Yeah.
aim for trailers too, we could dang
I
them
wonder
yeah.
if Huffords do own that.
I think they do. But that would look beautiful coming into town there.
Oh, absolutely.
That would look awesome.
Yeah.
Even if you had to get like, what's her name there, Sandy Darenfeld's got that across the road. If you
Mm-hmm.
could park there and walk across and have a nice field there.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking, there's nothing. I mean,
That's actually good.
Nothing.
That would be
Yeah,
a
that would
perfect
be
spot
nice.
for it.
or we can just keep watching people play on the internet and not get out in the community and do stuff. But like I said, Lytton, God.
They play baseball on their Wii's.
Huh?
They play baseball on their Wii's.
I know. I'm just seeing other towns pick this up, like it's just really catching on again here.
It is. Everybody's getting one.
So I said, I think we had 6 teams over there last year, maybe 6, and there's 10 already. And they signed up, when he posted it on there on the Lytton softball thing on Facebook, there was 10 teams, just like that. 10 minutes.
If we had a place in
Slow
town,
pitch, slow pitch,
Men's?
softball.
Co-ed.
if we had a
Oh.
place in town to host this, we could really get something going with Breda and Fonda and Lytton and Sac City and who else is doing it?
Yeah, we did
Wally?
the Sac City Fair one, ended up over there.
Yeah.
So, we were all gonna go down there, it's like, none of us wanted to play on, years of, we
You
played
want to
down
play
there
on
before.
razor grass, on uneven razor grass with no dirt?
Not really.
I can't believe that. With a snow fence for an outfield. So, not really a planning and zoning thing.
No.
Anything
no, it
else
wasn't
for
that.
anything else for planning and zoning on the board forum?
If we had a Parks and Rec director, they could get going on that.
We might be having that.
I said it, ding dong.
He might.
Talking about that today?
Kyle already said he might try to float the idea, but now he's in flux.
In limbo,
Yeah.
that needs to get done.
I know,
That's a big loss to the
I know.
community.
I know.
Like I said, that would
Discussed
look
it
nice
today.
too.
We had a meeting this morning.
That's what he said.
Moving on to 14 now, discussion of future agenda items. We've got the things that Stacy's bringing back. We've got the what else have we got? We're bringing back our normal things, financial, all that, minutes. We're doing a special December, January, March for property permits, for building permits. We're bringing back share the cost. We're bringing back modified setbacks.
Not the meetings officially over. Who's the biggest one?
Continue to bring in unsafe building stuff. Anything else that we can think of for next meeting? If not, it's set for the third Tuesday, April 19, 2016 at 6 p.m. right here. Does that work for everybody? Teresa, everybody?
If I can be here, I'll be here.
And
Softball starts,
I'm
so I
told
don't
that, I know.
Yeah.
I'm told that that Susan will probably be back for the next meeting too.
Jan might be back by then too.
Great. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Also moved.
Motion by Frank, second.
Second.
Second by Jim. All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? We are adjourned.